Well, we may have to build an ark, Adam.
Maybe.
We have, I believe, I saw where we have the wettest April in since like the early 1900s, and it is pouring rain today.
It's still going.
Still going strong.
Strongly still going.
Yep, going strong. I actually had a snapping turtle in my driveway.
Just looking for high ground.
Just trying to find a place to not drown. Essentially,
when the turtles are looking for places not to drown.
Yeah, no, we have had a ton of rain here in the great state of Oklahoma, and it's hard to complain about rain when you do live in Oklahoma.
But really, lately, it seemed a lot like it's an all or nothing.
Yeah, I kind of wish God was just like maybe spread it out a little.
Yeah.
Like, hey, remember us in July?
Yeah.
When it's 110, maybe just drop a few on us.
Yeah.
Give us a little something to cool down the earth.
It's
But then on the other side of it, I've always joked that that's when God's like, you think this is bad? Think about how bad hell will be. Right, Oklahoma in July, you like that? Huh?
That's why
Hell's
Oklahoma's
100
always,
times worse.
Oklahoma's always been the Bible Belt because everybody gets really good.
Well, we're the belt buckle of the Bible Belt.
You get a good understanding.
It's like old Falls Creek. So if you guys are unfamiliar with Falls Creek is the largest Christian youth camp in I believe in the world.
In ever.
And it is in Oklahoma, Davis, Oklahoma, and they do 8 weeks of 6,000 students a week.
It is insane.
It's not counting the adults.
Insane.
I mean,
No.
it's huge. And it used to be when I, as a kid, went to Falls Creek. Did you go to Falls Creek growing up as a kid? Did you guys?
No, we always went to our own. I mean, I went to Falls Creek, but not with New Church. I went with other churches. But we always
because you guys are into like snake dancing and turpentine.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, y'all do a little bit of turpentine drinking.
Yeah, we were that down at Lake Lugert camp. God, what was that camp called in Altus?
I don't remember.
We called it Camp Service of the Sun.
Yeah, I remember. Because I went and did. I went and we did an impression of the power team once there.
Yeah,
you were there as a camper.
I probably was.
You were, and I came, and I ripped a phone book.
Yeah.
We kind of joked about it. We were kind of making fun of the power team.
Oh yeah.
But anyway,
help him!
And I remember I opened a root beer, took 2 drinks of it, and then I smashed the root beer on my head, and it just went everywhere. Yeah. So
every middle school boy celebrated
my accomplishments. But Falls Creek, when I went, now Falls Creek has one of the most unbelievable facilities. The indoor tabernacle seats 7,800 people.
It's ginormous,
fully air conditioned, state of the art, everything. When I was in high school, and
when I went too, it was
years,
like that. Yeah.
It was outdoors. You were in the tabernacle. Then had 15-foot ceilings. And they would put 6,000 people underneath there, and kids would pass out from a heat stroke.
That was just the spirit.
It was yeah, that's what you
look at him go! Look at him go! People start standing up.
Just girls passing out. I remember them literally carrying these little middle school girls out in between the crowd, and
they need air.
That she's passed out, and they're like, keep singing, and you're like, saved, you're just singing, Romans 16:19 says, be innocent to what is good. Anyway, however that song went.
Yeah.
You just keep singing, and people are literally passing out because it was so hot. And back in the day, we had to wear pants.
Oh, yeah.
And the girls had to wear long dresses, and we had to wear pants. You couldn't wear shorts. You kind of had to dress up. And it was literally the threshold of hell. Hot.
It was just absolute torture.
Well, and there'd be 500 kids get saved. And I think it was honestly a big part of it. People were like, man, they talk about hell. Hell's hotter than this.
Yeah.
There ain't no way.
There ain't no way.
I ain't spending eternity there.
No.
I can barely make through an hour and a half of this. And so people were getting saved. But really, honestly, it really is an incredible church camp, and what they do there and the programming there. They do a phenomenal job. But now these kids, like my kids, I went to camp this last summer.
Oh, we don't want to talk about that.
No, we are going to talk about it. We are going to talk. Have we talked about it?
We talked about that.
We talked about it. All the kids. Yeah, the kids all got a food poisoning. or something.
That is by far the craziest story from a camp experience, because we talked about it right when I came back from camp.
You couldn't use a staircase. There was vomit in the staircase. You couldn't even go up the stairs. There was just kids. It was coming out both ends of people. I drove home. It hit me on the way home. I'm driving 70 mile an hour in construction on the interstate. I can't pull off. I got to throw up. Matthias is puking in a trash bag in the passenger seat.
Did you say, let me get some of that?
They gave the sponsors a gift bag, a brown paper gift bag. I had Matthias empty it out, and I'm driving 70 mile an hour puking into a gift bag.
Yeah, I remember us talking about that.
And I had to set it at my feet because I had to use it more than once.
At least it didn't start doing both ends, because that
Gaggy's here.
It doesn't. He's trying to say he's fine, but he's not. He's definitely not.
I just needed a minute, man.
Especially when you start thinking about that butler that we just ate. So being
not a
Brad,
person, by the way.
Not a human. Brad is not a serial killer.
Y'all ate a British housekeeper? No, we did not.
So we go to this place called Texlahoma Barbecue. It's around the corner. It's one of our normal staples. We actually kind of got mad at it for a little while.
Yeah, today the rib was a lot better today.
It was disappointing for a long time, but I think they're on a comeback a little bit.
Maybe so, man.
I hope so, because
I do too. It was good.
Golly, they really were at one time the best ribs in Oklahoma for me, and they how the mighty have fallen. However, they do have this thing that if you, the best part was you getting out your phone and saying your video and stuff, and he said like, this is the butler and all this stuff, and you're like, if you're depressed, and then he points the camera at me, and I'm like, don't eat this because it'll make it even worse.
It will definitely make it worse. You're not coming out of depression. And I was filming that for a friend who's battling some depression right now. So
don't
shout out.
Don't go there.
Don't go to Texlahoma Barbecue and eat the baked potato, because you're not coming out of it.
It's a baked potato the size of a small Nerf football.
Yeah, it's the size of a small Nerf football. Butter, sour cream, brisket,
white queso.
Well, that's on top.
Yeah.
So you got your.
Oh, so you're going in order.
I was going in order.
I think pulled pork is first.
Pulled pork,
brisket, sausage. Yeah.
Covered in cheese.
Covered in white queso.
Butter,
sour cream. And then they take a rib.
One rib.
Set it on top.
It was really good. But I did have a little bit of Aunt Gaggy moment.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was time to stop eating it today when you were parked in the front row, literally right outside the door, and I felt like walking to your vehicle was a task.
It's time over well.
And I was like, you know what? I probably don't need to finish this. I didn't finish it, which is not something that I say often.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do it.
I didn't even finish it.
I couldn't do it today.
I didn't even finish it.
Couldn't handle it. It was too much for me.
Had too many suicides.
Yeah, no, I walked up and I bought lunch today. You're welcome, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, bought us lunch, and you take your drink, and I go back, and you're at the fountain. And my 8-year-old Sterling does this everywhere we go.
Attaboy.
He starts on the right and just hits every drink.
Bam,
all the way
bam,
down.
bam.
And he gets a little bit of everything. And that's exactly what you did today.
Yeah. You got to skip the Diet Coke, though. That's gross.
He didn't. Sterling usually doesn't skip it.
He likes a little shot of aspertame.
He didn't read all that well. I don't think. It's just not a time.
It's just,
don't have time. Yeah, he's just hammered. He's partying. He's here for the good. He ain't here for a long time. He's just here for a good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's Sterling's mindset a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so so the butler today was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
At Texlahoma Barbecue. So shout out Texlahoma.
Yeah.
When they first opened, they had they had the celebrity wall.
Oh yeah.
And
now it's covered up by a big American flag.
Yeah, and me and you were signed it next to Sam Bradford. And like
my rightful place.
Right? Yeah. If you guys remember, Adam was a backup center.
Yeah.
And Sam Bradford used to touch Adam's butt every day. He'd walk up and slap him on the butt, take hikes.
Heisman Trophy hands right there.
Heisman Trophy hands on you, honey.
In the personals.
Speaking of personals, tell us. We got a little. You're wearing a thing today.
Yeah, I got this little halter thing here going on because.
No, ladies and gentlemen, that is not a sports bra.
No, it is not. We're just gonna get it out.
Oh, here we go.
Going for it.
Okay.
There we go. I'm linked up, locked in with all of the EKG full items there. So I am fully and completely monitored.
You got on you got to wear a 48-hour EKG.
48-hour EKG to determine the source of why my heart randomly was racing, which it hasn't been doing in a while.
Well, it's because you haven't ate at the Butler.
Today it's like, sir, your heartbeat dropped into the low 20s.
That's what I said. What are they going to do after you eat that Butler and you're just like,
I think you're having a stroke. They just immediately call.
just an ambulance shows up to your
We sent it to your location.
The door just bust open right now. And here comes these paramedics. Don't move.
They've got a stretcher. Like, I feel fine.
And they just immediately shock you. Just hit you right in the chest with the panels.
Yeah,
little paddles.
What do they call that?
I don't
What's
know.
the official
They're
name
paddles.
for that thing?
I don't know. They call them. Hit him with the paddles.
Hit him.
It'll hit you in about 20 minutes.
Clear.
Hey, we also had quite a few people that appreciated their shout outs.
Yeah, I've been talking to Wendy on Facebook Messenger.
Oh yeah,
yeah. She sent me a message because
she's talking about
fireworks.
Yeah,
man, there are some pyros.
Are they?
Oh yeah.
Wendy's got some pyro to her.
Oh,
huh?
she does.
Oh,
She does.
I can see that.
Wendy's got some pyro.
I can see that. Wendy,
And so-
you're a little firecracker anyway.
Yeah. So I did what any good pyromaniac would do for another pyromaniac, and I introduced her to my brother Austin.
Ah, there we go. There we go.
So my brother Austin's got a Class 3 license for fireworks. Has the full magazine, the whole thing, and so they sat there on the front row at old FBC Wellston and talked explosives.
Had him a moment.
Yeah,
Talked
had
it
him
out.
a little moment. So it was good.
Great connection.
Which Austin, he showed me this year his. He was over in my shop the other day, and he was building some new racks for fireworks, and he's got these 10-inch tubes. So I'm talking like a firework the size of a basketball.
Okay, very nice.
It is going to be intense.
Epic.
It is going to be intense, but we'll see. So I'm sure they were up there talking about that kind of stuff because Wendy's big into it. So, but she messaged me on Facebook every now and then.
Well, also Lisa sent me a text. Appreciated her. She's like, I'm dying. You guys gave me the shout out. So another shout out, Lisa.
Another shout out.
And and then the dad and the son from the baseball field, they messaged.
Oh, they did?
Said, man, we love the shout out. Appreciate that. So we do appreciate all of our
You got to keep those fans faithful.
we got to keep the 9.
We can't afford to lose any.
We really can't. We can't afford to lose one of you. So appreciate you guys listening and tuning in.
How many downloads have we been getting lately? Have you looked?
Yeah. A year hiatus hurt us, Adam.
I don't. Understandable.
Like our last episode before we took a hiatus was several thousand downloads, and so we haven't broke back to that point yet.
Yeah.
But we got, hey, listen, we broke the trust, and by we I mean you, broke the trust of the people. And it's, listen, one wrong erases 20 rights. Just societal norms, and that's kind of how it works.
Culture. I hate how that culture works like that.
It does, and that's just unfortunately how it works. And you're
really, I was trying to weed people out.
Your lack of consistent. Well, you did a good job.
I was really just trying to weed out people.
We just want 7.
We just want the people that really care.
Yeah, I mean, really, honestly,
fair weather fans.
Jesus had 12. Changed the world. What can we all do together?
Yeah,
Just
trying to set the standard the Lord did.
Probably change a couple light bulbs together.
Yeah.
That might be the extent of it. But anyway, we do appreciate all of our wonderful listeners that tune in and
like and
listen every week. And we do hope that that you're not dying with this EKG.
That would be pleasant to know that if
I'm leaning towards
my heart is not failing. Well, what did you eat?
You also
baked potato.
You also had a
with what on it? Pulled pork and brisket.
And what else?
A sausage.
And what else?
And rib on top.
And what else?
I also slathered it
queso
in butter and sour cream.
Enough to make Paula Dean proud.
Yes.
Just so much.
I also ate the tray.
And I had a suicide drink.
And I literally made a drink called suicide.
I had, yes, I'm 8 years old. But let's do hope that this is just
hopefully it's nothing.
Yeah, let's hope it's something minor. If it's not, and we're business partners in Full Strip Media, and if you're no longer here, I will be probably loading your vehicle with potting soil at Lowe's in a week because I need you. All right. So if you die on me, I'm loading mulch. You pull up and show me your receipt, and I'm gonna be loading in the back of your pickup. Or here at Edmond in your white SUV.
That'll be good.
Anyway,
It'll be good.
It's all
simple,
gonna be
simple life.
It's all simple life. It's all gonna be fine. It's fine.
There's some days that I'm like, you know what? Loading bags of mulch at Home Depot doesn't sound too bad.
I had somebody message me the other day passing a trash truck, and they said, I think I may become a trash man. And
Do they know Wendy?
Well, exactly. Yeah, right. So I said, you know what? That doesn't sound bad. And this is why I said, at least you accomplished something.
Oh, you did.
You
100%.
accomplished a task every day.
Yes. You ran your route. You did your thing.
And you're satisfied.
You clocked out.
Yeah, you're satisfied because you accomplished a task for the day. It doesn't always work that way in our line of work.
No, it does not. No, very seldom does it. Actually, it's more.
Well, those completion of a video, like a project for somebody. There's a lot of.
There are those moments, but the majority of them are. Yeah. There's long stints in between accomplished.
Yeah, it's not an everyday task. That's why I like people. I love to mow my yard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's just such a dad thing. But I love to mow my yard because when I'm done, I can stand and be like, I did that.
That was me.
Yeah, I did that. It looks great.
The mower's like, what the heck?
You shut your mouth over there.
Last time I checked, I was the one spinning, and you were just sitting and pushing the handles.
You hustler. Because it's a hustler mower. Yeah. Anyway.
Beep, 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 beep.
I had I hate to call this a bucket list. I hate to say that it's a bucket list, but here's the deal.
But you needed to scratch it off.
We all joke around, I think, with friends or acquaintances.
Yeah.
And we say things like, if you're ever in jail and you need somebody to bail you out, call me.
Call me.
Right. And I think everybody would say, I'm the bail you out of jail guy. Mm-hmm. But are you really?
Are you really the bail you out of jail guy?
Are you really the bail me out of jail guy?
It takes a very specific type to bail someone out of jail or to be cognizant to bail someone out of jail.
I'm not going to say names or anything because it's all
say the name.
Yeah, I'm not saying any names. I don't. I know a lot of people. Okay, I know a lot of people. So this could be anybody. Okay, anybody. And I will also say, I was not the first phone call.
Okay.
I
don't think I knew that.
Multiple phone calls were made down the line.
I wonder how many people think it's me right now.
We don't even know where the story's going.
I know, but I wonder if how many people just automatically
It wasn't Adam.
It could be.
No, listen. The odds of this being you is pretty small, bud.
We should start a rumor. Brad had to bail Adam out of jail.
I usually have my phone on silent, pretty much. Most of the time, my phone stays on silent. I think I do too.
I just don't like the ringer.
I don't either.
I feel it.
Yeah.
And I got the watch on, so don't need it.
2:00 in the morning, my phone rings, and I'm dreaming about eating cotton candy at a fair. Like I don't know where I'm at. Like I'm out.
You got a pretty good stream of drool coming out of the cheek.
I do as well. Yeah. Phone rings.
Yeah.
And I pick it up. Do not recognize the number. And I answer it.
Oh, and you answered it. That part of it is even crazy.
Yeah. I answer it because it's 2:00 in the morning. And I'm thinking, I think I went to bed before Matthias got home. That he was at the cages or he was hanging out with buddies.
Something happened.
And I'm so like, so I'm like, I think it was probably more dad mode.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, having a teenage son and a teenage daughter, having, phone call in the middle of the night. I don't know. Usually my phone's on silent, but it wasn't. I answer it. Hello. And this voice says, I'm in big trouble, man. And I'm like, what? What's going on? They're like, I've been arrested. And I'm like, you've been arrested? I was like, who is this? And then they say their name. And I'm like, processing for a minute.
Then it totally makes sense.
I'm processing this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like you're in jail? And they're like, I'm in jail, man, and I've called this person and this person and this person and this person. Nobody would answer, but you answered, man, and I need some help. And I was like, yeah, like, what do you need? And they're like, I need you to bail me out because if it's not done by like 8 o'clock in the morning, they're going to send me to county. And they said I might have to defend myself in there, man. You got to get me out of jail. And so I'm like, bro, I've never done this before. And I'm like, now it's a mission. Dude, it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you've given me a task.
How am I supposed to do this now?
How do I do this at 2 o'clock in the morning? Well, so I'm like, hey, I'm on it. All right. Man, I can't thank you enough, whatever. All right, so I hang up. And so I'm like, okay, like
too much.
I gotta find a bail bondsman. Right? And so I only personally know one bail bondsman. Okay? I know one bail bondsman in Elk City, Oklahoma. J.R. Simmons Bail Bonds.
Mm-hmm.
Call. Don't answer. Not that I expected them to drive from Elk City.
Yeah.
But
maybe they could give you some intel.
Point me in a direction.
Yeah.
And I understand. Don't answer at 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't blame you. And they don't claim to be a 24-hour bail bond place. But there's a ton of those in Oklahoma City, like 24-hour bail bond. And so I just pull up Yelp and I start calling. Voicemail. I'm leaving voicemails. Hey, man, this is a situation. Need some help. Going down through. Just working my way down through. 16.
Wow.
Got one guy to answer. He answered. He says, hey, man, I can't help you. I'm at the jail in El Reno on a bond right now, and I won't be able to make it back over there to help you tonight. So one of 16 answers. All right. So it means 15 did not.
Yeah.
So now
batting average is real low.
Right. And so now I'm kind of in panic mode because I gave it, like, I can't just like call a cell phone.
Yeah.
To be like, hey, man, I'm still working on it. Like, they're sitting in a cell.
He's in a cell.
Right. And so now I'm going through and, so at this point, I'm now pulling up, like, we're dealing with like locations. And so I'm like, okay, so Guthrie.
Yeah.
We're, so there's a couple listed there. Call nothing. I found a guy out of Luther, which also makes sense. We ain't on Luther often. And he answers. And he's like, man, what's the situation? I said, well, this is what happened. It's a suspicion of, driving under the influence and
tons of cocaine.
Yeah, just 8-ball. He's got an 8-ball and $2 million worth of Columbia booger sugar in the trunk.
Started speaking Spanish all of a sudden. Gang signs. It was crazy.
Not at all. So anyway, this bail bonds was like, hey man, yeah. He goes, let me make a phone call up there. And so he calls this jail where this person's in jail, and calls me back. And he's like, all right. He said they have to be kept for 4 more hours. So that'd be 5 a.m. And says, here's how much you got to pay out of pocket, which I happen to have it in cash on me.
Really?
Which never happens.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I got to go to an ATM.
Yeah.
And do multiple transactions, to get the cash out. But I had it on me, and not in that moment. I don't sleep with money.
Yeah.
I didn't sleep with money in my pockets.
Under my pillow.
In my pajamas.
Yeah.
Tooth Fairy came.
Tooth Fairy came and gave me this money for the bail.
Anyway, they said, hey, they could be released at 5 a.m., but of course that's in the middle of the night. If you want to do 8 a.m., you can come get them at 8 or at 9, or whatever. And I was like, no. I was like, I gave my word. I'll get you out of here as soon as I can.
Yeah.
And he's like, so you want to meet up there? You want him out at 5? And I said, yep. And he said, all right, meet me there at 4:30. Now this, by the way, it's almost 3:30 in the morning now.
Yeah.
And the other task I had to go about was that this individual's wife does not know.
Mm.
So I have to travel
Yeah.
to them,
Yeah.
notify them at
3:30 in the morning.
So I'm like, go knock on the
Yeah.
door, and they didn't expect
Yeah.
this gorilla of a man, Brad Clay, on their porch.
Yeah.
Like, can I help you? What's going on? I was like, well, so anyway, I said I already got it taken care of. Got the bond, all that's taken care of. I will have your husband home at before 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So, like I said, never done this. Go drive to this jail, meet the bail bondsman, gets out, like,
Describe this individual,
man,
please.
dude, super good guy, great,
Yeah.
nice guy, older gentleman, been doing it a long time. He's got a briefcase.
A briefcase.
I think he had on sweatpants and
Sweatpants and a briefcase.
had a briefcase, had sweatpants and like a pullover or something like that, and which dude, we've been up all night. I've been on the phone with him. He's been calling the jail anyway. So we go in, sit down, fill out all the paperwork. I pay. It's by the way, it's cash in the parking lot, not in there.
Yeah.
Felt shady. Which, listen,
Cash in the parking lot.
It was like, hey man, you got the money? It's like, yeah, I got the money. I'm like, let me see it.
Let me see. He's counting it.
Get it. Look at it. Puts it in his pocket.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we go inside, fills out all the paperwork, all that stuff, and here he comes around the corner, my buddy. They let him out. They release him to me. He has to release it. He has to come out and fill out the paperwork. He's like, I'm so glad to see you, man.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so sorry. And I was like, bro, like, hey, I mean, you're in a bad place when you call a licensed and ordained minister to bail you out of jail, but I was like, hey man, if something ever happened to me, like I believe that I could call you.
Yeah.
And be like,
in that moment, it's less about what you did and more about whether you're
because
loyal.
I honestly, like, I don't know that many people answer their phone at 2:00 in the morning.
No.
I normally wouldn't.
Yeah.
That was kind of a God thing probably.
Yeah.
And it led to us having a pretty good spiritual conversation through that too. But, anyway, he's obviously very upset. He's like, oh man, this is crazy. Like, never been in this situation before. And long story short, they'd gone to a concert. They did have a drink or two, but a bucket on a table beside them, somebody ordered a bucket of beer, so I had a bunch, and it got knocked off the table, and it broke, and it was like
all over him.
And like he reeks of alcohol.
Yeah.
And so when he got pulled over for speeding,
They immediately smell.
yeah, they walked up the door, and from his knees down is,
Yeah.
Corona.
Yeah.
You could have drenched it out.
Did they just cuff him and take him there, or did they give him the sobriety test?
Well,
and
they
everything?
gave him the option to blow, and he refused it.
Yeah.
I'm no lawyer,
Yeah.
so he refused it because he's like, so anyway, so it's ongoing litigation there. But I think he's got a good chance of, first time offender, never had any trouble with the law in any form or fashion. This individual. And I'll rule out another person. I'll mention their name. Brett. It's not Brett.
It's not Brett.
It's not Brett.
It's not Brett.
I feel there's some people are going, oh, it's Brett.
It's Brett.
That's old Brett Whipwheel.
It's not Brett.
It's not Brett. It wasn't.
Not
but
Brett.
I didn't tell him exactly the whole situation, but I said, hey, I had to do this. And he said, it'd be really funny. He said, you need to randomly pick a day and call at 2 a.m. And they answer and be like, hey man, is everything okay? Be like, yeah, everything's fine. I was just making sure you were.
I'm just trying to make sure my coupon's still good.
Yeah, my coupon's still good. Good boy. Thanks for answering the phone, and just hang up. Just don't even say another word. Just hang up the phone. So anyway, so people can say, hey, call me. I'll bail you out of jail.
You've got that added to that feathers in your hat.
That's officially on my resume now. I have bailed someone out of jail. And I did tell the bail bondsman, I said, I promise you this person will be at court.
Yeah.
I promise you this person will handle their business because they can't outrun a 6.5 PRC.
Yeah.
I said, I promise you they can't.
Yeah.
And my name's attached to that if they do bail, because I'm on it. I'm on it, right? So if said individual doesn't come through, your boy has to pay all the things, and it might be enough to shoot you with a 6.5 PRC.
It might be enough to murder you.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm happy to be able
And
to
at this
say,
point, they just got to put you in the creek, and you'll wash 2 counties away.
oh, bro, no doubt, that would be the case.
This is a convenient time.
So anyway, so I do feel like that was like, we joke about that with our buddies, but I can honestly say,
But you can honestly say you've bailed somebody out of
I
jail.
have now officially bailed someone out of jail.
Add that to the bucket list.
So I feel like now, but here's the problem about putting this on the podcast. And thank God there's only 9 people that listen. But there's a number of them that do have my personal cell phone. And
Yeah.
I think right now they're all making mental notes.
I'm gonna call him at 2 a.m.
I can call Brad at 2 a.m. and he will
will
the
answer.
phone, and he will come bail me out.
You might just have to get lucky though, because I'm sure the phone's back on silent mode now.
It is. No, that was a freak deal. It was a freak deal. That's a God moment.
Yeah,
Supposed to be the way that it was.
it was
Because
ordained.
you would be one of my first calls. But I don't think you would answer the phone.
Well,
you
my
don't
phone would be on silent.
You don't answer the phone consistently now.
But that's
and some of that's not your fault.
Some of
that's
it's
what I was
because
going
you're
to say.
on the phone.
Well,
with
part of
somebody
it
else,
is
too.
also you live in phallus.
That
And
sometimes
so
happens.
I just
yes.
call and randomly a bunch of times I will call and it goes straight to voicemail. That is often. And could you imagine sitting in jail and they're like, you get one phone call?
So
I'm
gonna
sorry.
take
I'm
the
not.
risk?
I'm not calling you. I'm not calling you. And it's not so much that I don't trust you.
Yeah.
I don't trust the phallus hole.
I don't trust the phallus hole. You can't trust the phallus hole with your one phone call.
There's no way. There's
Yeah.
no way I could trust you in that moment for the phallus hole. So if you had,
But do you call someone else and do you say get a hold of Adam, or do you just go? Who do you go? first? Where do you go first?
That's an awkward situation. But I trust you to answer the phone, but I don't trust you to have $500. You know what I mean? Like, I know how much you make.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
I know you can come up $500, but there's some people that I feel like there are some people that I do like I could get a hold of at 2:00 in the morning, but they don't have $200.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
you got to
any
find the
names.
perfect combination.
You really kind of do. You got to have a perfect
Gotta
combination.
find the perfect
You got to have
combination.
somebody that's a little methy
Yeah.
that'll be up at 2 a.m. But the
Yeah.
problem is when they're a little bit methy, then a lot of times they don't have $200
Oh, yeah,
to spare.
they already spent it
Yeah,
on the meth.
they spend it on the math, you know. So that's so who would be your phone calls? You get 5 phone calls.
5 phone calls. Five phone calls. Probably would call my wife first. I'd probably call you second. I'd probably call either my dad or my brother.
That's a mistake.
My dad
Your
or my
dad's
brother
a mistake.
third.
Your dad's a mistake.
It's at that point we're getting desperate. I'd actually probably call my mom,
There you go.
and then either of them. Actually, my mother-in-law, she would answer.
She would answer.
She'd answer.
Okay.
Susie would answer. Susie would
Yeah.
answer. The problem is my dad, the reason, now to think about it, I wouldn't even call him if it was that late, because he doesn't even sleep with his phone in the room. Like he has a charger out in the living room. So like he doesn't even have the phone.
Buddy, he goes to work often and leaves it at home.
Oh yeah, no, there's no doubt.
He's a lawyer.
No doubt.
Yeah. There's been multiple times like, well, we tried to get hold of him all day, and he's like, well, I left my phone at work, and I was already on the turnpike.
That's why I got the office phone memorized.
Yeah, you know it. Yeah. All right.
Be able to get to it. So that's probably the list.
Okay.
That's probably there's a bunch of other people. There's a bunch of other people that I think I could call, but it's do I think that they'll answer?
I think part of it is the time when I'm calling too.
Mm-hmm.
If it's 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. to 4:30 a.m., but if I call at 4:40 a.m., Brett Will's going to answer his phone
Yeah, he'll
because he's
answer.
up.
He's up.
And he goes to bed at 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Brett would answer the phone in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I think
that early. I think he probably would. Too.
He would answer it early in the morning.
I think
for
he would too.
Yeah, I think he would too. He's drinking his cup of coffee.
He's making his eggs and toast.
Whatever Brett does, first thing in the morning.
Sits there.
Yeah, he just sits in silence.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably.
It's a great way to start the morning.
Yeah, just spending it just with your thoughts and the Lord.
Yep.
But yeah, so but you'd be on my list. I don't know if you would answer the phone or not. But yeah, you would be there. But how about
definitely at risk of robbery from the.
How about this question? It's 11 a.m. on a Tuesday. You have to make a phone call, and if they don't answer, you get $1 million.
If they don't answer,
they do not answer.
Brant Hill.
He'll answer mine.
I say that he's more upset at me because every time he's called me here recently, I've either been on the other line or something. He's like, "You never answered." I'm just like, "I'm paying you back."
Yeah, I mean, there has been stints. He's been better
here lately.
He's been better. Yeah, he's been better.
If they don't answer, I'm 100% positive they're not going to answer the phone call.
You get $1 million if they do not answer.
That might be my sister Chelsea, because she works at a salon.
Mm-hmm.
That's high time, so she has got scissors in hand. She's got other things going on like that. That would be another good option for me.
Anybody that just hates you that would see it and be like, "Forget that guy."
I don't know if I have anybody that just like hates.
What about the old city manager at Davis?
Tom Graham. Yeah,
he probably wouldn't.
He'd just want to answer it he hadn't cussed somebody in a while and he needs to do it.
Yeah, that could be true.
Yeah,
that could be true. He did hate you.
Yeah. I think it was therapeutic for him, really.
I'm gonna say Jason Carricker.
That's a good one.
I bet there's a really good chance Jason doesn't answer the phone.
There's a good chance. There's a good chance there.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's a good one.
That is a tough one. It's a tough vibe.
Yeah, there's a lot of I feel like most of the people that have beef with me want to answer the phone so they can have it out.
How many people would you say have beef with Adam Carter?
I can think about 5.
Really?
Yeah.
5 people that have beef with you? What's it over?
Stupid stuff.
I can't imagine because you're such a nice guy.
Well, they're all delusional. That's the problem.
That's the most gaslighting, narcissistic thing I've ever heard somebody say.
No, it's not. It's not gaslighting when they're actually delusional. Then it's just accurate.
But
me,
on the other hand, there's probably
that guy with that guy in the parking lot that one time. You have his number?
No, he didn't give me his phone number. Did we ever talk about that?
I think we've talked about it. I'm pretty sure.
Guy in his little red sports car. Pulled in Mercedes. And
was it the Mardell parking lot?
Yeah, he said, "You pull in that parking lot over there, buddy, you're going to get your, what."
You ever been beat down in a Christian bookstore parking lot?
And I said, "That parking lot right there." I said, "Let's go, bro." And he pulled in there, and I followed him in there. I can't believe he stopped. I cannot believe he stopped. He's wearing a Ralph Lauren red polo and then the red Ralph Lauren hat.
Mm-hmm.
And buddy, like I couldn't even fit in his car.
Mm-hmm.
Like his little sports car, I would look like the dad from The Incredibles sitting in that thing. Mm-hmm. I'd be busted. I look like a can of biscuits busted open in that car. And he's running his mouth. Anyway, and so he pulls in and parks, and I drive my pickup to his door.
Mm-hmm.
Like 3 inches from his door.
Mm-hmm.
And my grill, big old truck, and I hop out, and I was like, "Hey man, like, you want to talk about this? Like, you're acting like an idiot in traffic," and it was crazy. And all I hear is 911. What's your emergency?
Yeah.
And I was like, "Bro, you called the cops, man?" He's like, "There's a man here threatening me."
He's threatening me.
I was like, "You invited me to a party in this parking lot. I just followed you over here. What are you talking about?" Well, there was an unmarked police car in the Mardell parking lot. And then, I mean, he's like,
the Mardell, they've got it covered.
yeah, he's like,
Ain't no fighting here.
that's right. And he pulls over there, and he's like, how did the call come in? And you guys are 50 yards from me.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's going on? And I was like, well, this guy, is going to one lane. I'm in the right lane. He drives 80 mile an hour to pass me, blows by me at the where it closes, and then cuts underneath. He's like, he disappeared under my hood of my pickup. That's how close I was to hitting him, And I mean, he passed like 20 cars flying. I'm driving the speed limit, and gets in front of me, and then brake checks me. And I mean, brake checks me. All my stuff in my car falls into the floorboard. It's like my big truck's like, and he's like flipping me off. And I mean, he's like head out the window, and I'm like, bro, what are you talking about?
Yeah, why are you mad?
Right. And so we get it to a lot, and I'm like, what is your problem? And he was like, he's like, you follow me over that parking lot right there. You're gonna get your, what? Be that, and I'm like, that parking lot right there, I'll follow you over there. So that's kind of the background to how that came about. And this cop's like, so what's going on? I'm like, dude, he flew past me at 80 mile an hour, just a mile back. And I said, then brake checked me, got cut underneath me, passed like 20 of us, acting like an idiot, cussing, flipping me off, all this stuff. And he looks at that guy and he was like, do you see how big he is? He's like, you stupid. He's like, this is how people die. Acting like this is how people die in traffic, doing stuff like this.
The cop begins to scold him.
Yeah, the cop's like scolding him, And so another police officer shows up, and, they're over there talking to him. He's like, go back over here, hang out over here for a minute. And I was waiting over there. They're talking to him, and he walks back over, and the guy's like, he said, well, he's pretty scared of you. And they asked if I would just sit with you here for 2 or 3 minutes to make sure that you didn't follow him to his house. And I was like, okay. And he was like, he was laughing, he's like, and I was like, part of the problem in our society, once again, Adam, once again, what's the problem with our society?
A punch in the face would fix a lot of things.
A punch in the face fix a lot of problems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I joke with the officer about that, and he was like, no, you're right, man. He's like, we wouldn't have a lot of the problems we have if you could just punch somebody in the face. It'd fix a lot of it and whatever. And we chat, and the guy has driven off, and we hang out and visit for a minute. He's like, all right, he's like, that guy was worried he's going to follow him to his house and beat him in his driveway.
Yeah. At that point, you're going to be like, can you tell me what his address was?
Yeah. So
can I follow him over there, and then you follow me just so we can really make him dookie his pants a little bit?
But the best part was then afterwards, the guy goes like, he's like, oh, hey, by the way, I love your TV show. Big fan of Final Descent Outdoors.
I'm one of the 7.
It probably is. So if you're an Edmond police officer,
and this story sounds familiar, please make sure you comment.
100%.
We'd love to have you on as a guest to validate.
And we did I really wanted to say too, we had a great time having Henry on as a guest on the last 2 podcasts, and I felt like it was incredibly informative for people when it comes to talking about hunting in Africa, hunting elephants. I think people just kind of view that sometimes it's just being a horrible thing. And when you learn that, he shot a bully elephant. Like the government said, this elephant is a danger to people, a danger
not
to...
Not a bull elephant. It was a bull elephant,
but he was a bully.
He was a bully.
And then they only hunt older elephant, and then the others are elephants that are losing or have lost their last set of teeth, and they're going to die of starvation in the next few months. And so pretty cool to learn that. And the fact that he killed his elephant and it fed a village for 6 months.
That's crazy.
Isn't that unbelievable?
That's a lot of meat.
That's a lot of meat.
That's so much
meat. It's essentially an elephant. It was on the butler today.
That's what we ate for lunch.
It felt like he was just eating.
I wonder what elephant tastes like. I wonder if it's kind of like.
I don't know. I've eaten a lot of weird stuff.
Like beef? You think it tastes like beef?
Doing these wild game dinners and speaking all over the country, I've eaten some weird things. I've had kangaroo.
Yeah, I've had kangaroo.
Turtle.
It's not good.
I had it. It was in a sausage. Yeah, I mean, anything in a sausage is good.
Yeah, it's covered up by
kangaroo sausage.
Yeah.
I have had in Michigan. I had Salisbury staked beaver.
Beaver. I've heard that beaver's pretty good.
Have you?
Yeah. I've never had it, but I've heard that it's good.
Yeah.
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 Just gonna leave that one alone.
I've had raccoon.
I've
had some raccoon. man, lots of.
I've not eaten coon. I don't think I could. Possum, I couldn't do it.
I haven't ever had a possum. I feel like someplace had a coyote. I had some
That's
coyote
gross.
one time. But probably, so there was a church in Missouri, and that's a great story too, because my buddy Philip Cowart flew us there.
He's on my list of people that we need to have as a guest. I talked to him at the banquet.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and
He would be a good guest.
And he was like, man, I listened to the podcast, and he's like, I need to get on and tell the story. And I was like, you would be a fantastic.
We need to do that. He would be. He
Yes.
could probably just slip in on a Wednesday and be able to pull that off. And so I'll save that full story then
Yeah.
if we're going to talk about having
Yeah.
Philip on as a guest to talk about it. But he flew me up there from Wiley Post.
Wiley Post Airport.
Yeah, and I'll never forget the guy that fills your tank up. He was dressed like the Undertaker.
Okay.
Had on a full black,
Like wrestler Undertaker.
Yeah, he had the black long
Trench coat.
Interesting fellow. Anyway,
Does this mean I'm gonna die
but
after
they-
you fill up my gas tank?
well, not to give a
See
teaser,
the story.
not to give much of the story away. But we this church, it was a wild game dinner and had lots of different stuff: elk, pheasant, duck, deer, all kinds of different stuff. And then they had a mystery meat. It's kind of reminded me of elementary school cafeteria, the old mystery meat casserole. You don't know what you're really getting. So it was a mystery meat.
It's like every Chinese buffet we go to.
Oh, Cliff.
China Pearl.
It was a mystery meat, and they were giving away a prize if you could guess what it was.
I feel like you've told me this before, but I've forgotten what the actual mystery meat was.
It was I walked up to this cutting block, and it's a big piece of meat. I mean, it's like this big, like 2 foot by 9 foot, or nine, not 2, it's 2 foot, 2 foot by
Tyrannosaurus
9,
Rex.
2 foot by 9 inches is this chunk of meat.
Yeah.
Incredibly lean, hardly any fat in it, red meat, and they're cutting chunks of it off. It's cooked, and they're cutting chunks of it off. Like it's like brisket big, but no fat. And so I'm like, God, it's a big animal. It's a big animal. And so people are writing down their guesses, and anyway, I guessed that it was some type of like bison.
I was gonna say I would probably guess bison.
That's
too.
kind of where I went with it, was bison. I was not right. It was camel.
Camel
Makes
me think of those awesome camel hunting videos.
Listen, have we talked about that at all?
I think we have a couple times, but never.
There's
like
a wormhole.
yeah,
for the
wormhole YouTube channel.
And listen, it's we love all of our 9. Can we say we got 9 now?
Oh yeah, sure.
Let's
fine.
say 9. I feel comfortable with 9.
Yeah.
For our 9 listeners, there is a guy on YouTube who lives in Australia.
It's like Jack Outback is his channel.
Jack Outback
Yeah.
is his channel. And what this guy, so he owns a ranch, and water is very scarce.
In the Australian desert, as you would assume.
Right.
Unlike Oklahoma right now.
Yeah. Water is very scarce. He has a cattle operation, and there is and camels are feral there. They are a
Wild
nuisance
camels.
animal, and they're overrun with them. And they will come onto his ranch and come to one of his watering holes in like a herd of 100, and they will drink all of the water.
They'll leave nothing for the cattle. Cattle will die.
Yep.
And then on top of that, they'll eat the vegetation that's there, which is not a lot on top of it too.
And so he has gotten okay, basically, from the government to just declare war.
It is. They have that, and then wild donkeys. They
Yeah.
have wild donkeys too.
So it is a channel of him. He can't have a normal AR-15. He has a pump
style AR-15 because of the
and
government regulation.
our buddy Henry has one.
Henry does have one.
Henry has that gun.
We should have asked Henry about
We
that
should
too.
have done that. We should ask Henry about it. But he's got a pump AR, and in his videos, I mean, their videos. How many does he kill at a time?
He's killing each watering hole. He's probably killing 30 or 40 camels.
Full grown, giant big camel. He's just wearing them out. So there's this YouTube channel. What's the name of it again?
Jack Outback, I think.
Jack Outback, and he is shooting camels in Australia, and I mean by dozens and dozens at a time.
And
like
he does
his little
all kinds
kids,
of stuff too.
his kid's like 8 years old driving,
Yeah.
and he is loading mags.
Like his kids are loading up mags for him.
They're loading the mags up for him, and he's just wearing these camels out.
And he's got this guy named Danny that goes with him that is like
Aborigines.
the most Aborigines guy I have ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And,
I forgot about old Danny.
Danny goes with him too, and they get both those guns out. And so one of them's got a bolt action gun, and the other one's got a pump AR. And I mean, they are wearing them out.
It's pretty incredible.
It is. It's incredible. And then some of them, they'll process them, and then some people will take them for dog food, and then the rest of them, they just burn them.
I know. And it's so hot, and so that sounds really bad, but it's so hot by the time they're able to process that many, the meat spoiled.
Yeah, and they're not native. They are nuisance animals. They're literally killing native animals. That's why the wild donkeys are literally on the kill list too, because they are not a native species, and they're killing all the vegetation that all these other native animals would eat. So like camels and donkeys are what feral hogs are to us, to them.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know, I mean, the USDA here spends millions and millions of dollars in the United States flying around in helicopters and airplanes shooting pigs and leaving them dead on your property.
Oh yeah.
And so they're kind of doing the same thing over there to try to combat that. So anyway, pretty interesting YouTube channel.
There's a rabbit hole for you today.
Yeah, there's your rabbit hole to dive off into and go and explore. But I have had camel meat.
Tell them the Final Descent Outdoors podcast sent you, all 9 of you.
That's right. So you go
leave him a comment.
Yeah, comment on what's his channel name again?
Jack Outback.
Jack Outback. Be like, sent from the Final Descent Outdoors podcast.
They talked about you. That's what I heard about you.
Yeah, he definitely has a much larger following than we do. He's got a pretty big following.
They may get us up. That might get us up to 11.
Ooh, it could.
That could be a big deal.
It could be a big deal.
That could be a really, really, really big deal.
Just a launching pad.
A really big deal.
Launching pad for us. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. It was good to be back in studio with Adam and recapping. I'm glad I got to check off a bucket list. And I guess as we check, the spiritual aspect of that is, what Jesus did for us. And as undeserving and as guilty as I have been of my transgressions and of my sins, Jesus was my bailout.
He was your bailout. He's your number one phone call.
He was my number one phone call. And for what he did for me, as undeserving in that moment as I was, that he answered the call in my moment when I knew I needed. Like in that moment where I'm like, I don't know the Lord. And I had grown up in church. I could tell you I made that decision to accept Christ when I was a sophomore in high school. And I grew up in church. I could tell you all the Sunday school answers. But I didn't have a relationship with Jesus. I had head knowledge of Jesus, but I didn't have a relationship with him. And for me, that moment of making that decision, when I realized that I'll spend eternity in hell. Like I can tell you a bunch of Sunday school answers about Jesus, but I haven't surrendered my life to him. And when I called out to him and said, "Hey, I need saved. I need to be forgiven of my sins. I need to turn these things to you." He answered the call. He bailed me out, literally.
Bailed you out of eternity.
Bailed me out for eternity, and I'm forever thankful for that. And today, if you're listening to this podcast, and maybe you could give us a billion different Sunday school answers. You could tell us a ton about Jesus, but you'd say, there's never been a time I've actually surrendered my life to him. I can't think of a better time than right now to make that decision.
And it's not a hard thing. I think we church it up too much.
Man, we do. It's
we church
so
it
simple.
up too much. I mean, it's just literally realizing that you are a sinner and admitting it and saying, Jesus, save me.
Yep. And it's not even, like, there's no magic words, or I left out some churchy term. That's not how it is. It's about us, you being honest with God, saying, listen, I'm a sinner. I know I'm a sinner. I've done things that don't honor the Lord, and I need to be forgiven, and I want Jesus to be my Savior.
That's why it says it's with the heart that one believes And with the mouth, you're justified. Like saying it is just a consummation of what Jesus does in the heart. Because God looks at the heart, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
Wonder what he's seeing in yours right now with that EKG.
He's probably, I've got lots of people seeing in my heart right now. I see a butler.
I see a 27 heart rate after eating that thing.
That looks like a child.
That's
a child. You ate a child.
It's resting.
Yes,
it's resting.
It's a resting heart rate.
Yeah.
It's more like it's a trying not to die heart rate.
But you're right. God only sees the heart.
Mm-hmm. So there's a really cool special thing where the belief in Christ happens, and then the mouth just follows suit. So there's no special words
because they overflow the heart.
They overflow the heart, and like that is the consummation of worship. Just like we talk about today with eating that potato. Like the potato's better when we talked about it.
That's true.
The potato's
That's
better
a good word.
When we talked about it. Jesus is better when we talk about him, and the same thing when he saves us in our heart, our mouth can't help. Just like you got the disciples in Acts 5 that are like, we got to obey God rather than men. Mm-hmm. Like we can't. We must do this. It's how it works. So like when the heart changes, everything else does. So if you're sitting there today, just like we've been told before, someone said, I was sitting there tiling my bathroom floor, and I asked Jesus in my heart, wherever you're at, if your heart believes, let your mouth
confess it.
Follow it. Yeah. Confess it.
I love it.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode here of the Final Descent Outdoors podcast. Adam, how can people follow you?
You can check us out on YouTube. Hurley's got a video coming out.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got a video coming out about his pigs.
He's raising meat pigs.
Got him
meat hogs.
Got him some show pigs that we're raising for meat. I mean, they look like show pigs.
Do they?
They look like. In fact, there's some kids in the youth group that they show pigs, and I told them about Hurley getting them, and they're like, "Let me see them," and I see them, and they're like double taking the phone, like, "What is that?" Like, that is a show pig. And I'm like, well, yeah, they're culls from a herd for show pigs, but they can eat.
You know what? They taste like bacon.
Yeah, they taste like pork.
That's right.
So,
that'll be coming
out
awesome.
soon.
Yeah, that'll be great. You can also follow Final Descent Outdoors on all the social medias, FD Outdoors on Twitter and on Instagram, and then on Facebook, just Final Descent Outdoors. YouTube, Final Descent Outdoors. We'd love for you to like and subscribe. Tell us where you're from. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. And if we can honestly help you with any spiritual journey that you're on, if that's helping you begin a relationship with Jesus, pray for it in any way, go to our website, finaldescentoutdoors.com, send us a message or shoot us a message on social media, and we'd love to pray for you and encourage you in any way we can.
Now, I'd say if you did that today and you did hit your knees, you did whatever it did today, and you accepted the Lord, please let us know, because selfishly, we love to know. We love to know, and we would love to be able to pray for you. Yeah. Because it's super encouraging. We'd love to help point you on the next steps of the journey, too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'd love to do that. So, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. God bless you. And we'll see you hopefully next week if we haven't floated away.
Yeah. We might be getting a roadcast next week.
We might
with our schedule.